order the Tuesday, December 5th Trades Licensing Board meeting. I'll take the roll. Mr. Armstrong.
Here.
Mr. Reeves.
Here.
Mr. Panitsky.
Here.
Mr. Newber. Mr. Dietrich.
Here.
Mr. Ziwi.
Here.
Mr. Sessler. Mr. Schaaf. Mr. Hollern.
Here.
Mr. Collins.
Here.
Mr. Grego. Okay, roll call has been taken.
You missed me.
Oh, Mr. Bretz.
Here.
I apologize.
No?
Okay, so roll call has been taken. The minutes from the previous meeting were publicly posted and they were disseminated to you individually electronically. If there's no objections, I'll take a motion to approve the
Make
minutes.
the motion.
Motion by Mr. Armstrong. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Panitsky. Any questions on the motion? Any questions on the motion? Being that there's none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Public comment. Is there anyone here today for public comment? Anything from the code office today? Under public comment? Okay. There's no public comment. There's no secretary report for this month. There's also no correspondence for this month. Under old business, there is none. New business, review or approve electrical applications. Mr. Eric Walker for a journeyman license. I'll open up the floor for discussion on this subject.
I reviewed his application. I saw that he still did not address the educational concerns we had. And the last time the individual was here, he had a lot of certification for various programs. I thought he would expound on that to the point when Christy sent out the meeting reminder, I sent her a text asking her to reach out to him. I don't know if y'all saw that, but he sent a reply which was, oh, she's got it up there, I think. Yep, she's got it up there, which really does not address the concerns we had about education. And at this point, I just thought I'd stop and see if I'm the only guy who feels that way.
I would agree with you.
Okay.
I do have a question for Andy. Andy, do we have a reciprocal agreement with Pittsburgh or Allegheny County for our license?
At this time, no.
Okay. And that's a very important thing because he did not have at the last meeting his license intact. He had passed the test, but he went to a different jurisdiction and got his license, and that's well and good. But under our code, we don't have a reciprocal agreement with anyone, so his master license is actually a moot point. It comes back to having the education necessary for his journeyman's license, and I don't see that he has that.
I have a question about the verifier. Does the verifier have to be licensed in the city?
Yes.
His verifier is licensed in Ohio.
Okay. Is there any further discussion?
Well, on those 2 points, then I'll make a motion that we refuse his application to take the test.
Right. He doesn't have the time in underneath, registered as an apprentice under a master electrician.
Somewhere in there, he had mentioned something about apprenticeship programs and in lieu of apprenticeship programs, but there are apprenticeship programs here. The union's got the union has a very viable program. There's other programs for non-union people. So he doesn't meet the criteria. Simply stated, he does not meet the criteria as put forth in this document.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
A second.
Oh, Mr. Collins seconded. Any questions on the motion? Andy, do you have something you want to add? Any questions on the motion? Being that there's none, all those in favor of denying this application signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes to deny this application. Moving on in the agenda,
Christie, got a question.
yes,
If he can provide further information as far as training and education, is he able to reapply?
We can't stop anybody from reapplying.
Correct.
But yeah, he'd have to get a new verifier.
He's gotta get a verifier, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the verifier and the education. And I kind of thought he was gonna come back with that stuff.
He has two verifiers in
Yeah, they're from like Ohio though, aren't they?
there. No, one of them is from Erie Insurance,
Yeah, one of them
Brian
was
Beers,
Beers.
but he still lacks the education. Doesn't matter.
Okay. All right, we'll move on. There is no plumbing applications for this month's meeting. There is no mechanical applications for this month's meeting. There's no further business on the agenda. Mr. Armstrong.
I do have an issue. Yeah, I asked Andy, just stay there for a minute. We had an individual who came in front of us a couple months ago, and we reviewed him. He didn't have enough information, so we rejected him unless he provided additional information, and it's Mr. Savage. And I'd just like to know where that stands in.
Right now, it's still standing. He's not in town as of yet. We did inform him that he's got to come to the board the next meeting in January and address the board. So right now, either way, regardless, he's going to have a 6-month review by the board. So,
Does he have a license today?
yeah, I think she sent him one out, yeah, as a journeyman. But it's a temporary license, so to say, until,
Well, then it's not a 6-month license.
well, it is.
It's a 90-day license according to code.
Well, when's the meeting in January? It's until that meeting, until he addresses the board.
I just want to keep us,
But he's not here yet, so we're not really, until he gets here and comes in and talks to Christie and I, then, hey, Brent.
so you've given him a license without any...
He has a paper license, but he's not in town yet. And so as soon as he does come, he's coming in to talk to us, and then he's gonna talk to the board in January.
Isn't that putting the cart before the horse?
Well, we sort of did, but we reviewed it internally and felt that special circumstances applied here. We thought he would be here a lot quicker, but he's not.
He's not actively working.
No.
He's not working as of yet in the city.
We tabled that item,
Yeah.
I believe.
I'd like to keep it tabled until next meeting, where he
You
can
could already
address.
give him a license, so why table it?
Well, it doesn't, no, it's at the discretion of the board. We can refuse his license. If you don't like what he says, or what he's
Andy,
submitted,
I've been very clear this whole process. He's got time to look at a job, he's got time to bid a job, he's got
He's
time
not-
to do all of that, but he
he's
doesn't
not
have
bidding
time
a
to get his
job.
license.
he went for what, journeyman? Yeah, he's not bidding any jobs, he's a journeyman.
And he'll have a master pull whatever licenses he needs.
It was my, it
He's
was,
going to work for a journeyman, or a master.
yeah, it was my understanding that he was looking for employment through a registered master electrician.
Like, again, we ask him for information. This goes back multiple months. I don't know when the first day he came in front of us, but the last 2 meetings we've had, this is continued insufficient information. This is continued insufficient information. And then last month, we said we'd table it for this, basically the same reason. And then Jim sent out information. He's only been a member of the local in Detroit for a month, and he never served an apprenticeship out there.
He'll be in January to address the board with their concern. But he's in the IBEW up there.
I have no objection to waiting to see what information he brings, but
I don't have an objection to wait for this board or Andy to present him with a license after that review. But to give him a license beforehand, I think is wrong.
In a way, yes, I agree with you. But there were certain circumstances and he asked for, and so we reviewed it and felt that, yeah, we could help the guy out. He's trying to relocate the area. His wife's got a position at one of the hospitals, pretty good position, so we didn't want to. And if he doesn't get the job here, she doesn't come here. And so we'll see. But come the next meeting, if the board doesn't think he's worthy of a journeyman's license, we can yank it. That's no big deal. And we've informed him of that. He knows that.
I just want to be clear on this, Andy.
No,
He's got a license for how many days?
Till the January 5th meeting. And he's not here yet. We
So
could-
he doesn't have a license that exceeds January 15th?
That's correct. We can yank it at any time. He's got to come in and talk to the board. We've talked to him. I mean, he's been very upfront with us. Very easy to deal with, so I don't,
We go back a long time.
I know.
So that you know why I'm
I
asking the
know.
questions I'm asking.
I
I'm
do.
not throwing rocks at you,
I know.
but when it's written that he can get a 90-day license from your office, I support that. When I see that he gets a 6-month license, I can't support that.
Well, that was to help him out. But it's only good until he discusses things with the board. That's it. And if on January, if you don't like it, then we pull his license.
And he's coming in front of us.
Yes.
We'll do-
Is there any more discussion on this? No? Okay. There is nothing left on the agenda to review for this meeting, so I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Armstrong, second by Mr. Collins. Is there any question on the motion? Being that there's none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The meeting is closed until January.
Next meeting is the second?
It would be,
January 9th?
it would be
Oh,
the second of January.
it's gotta get
Oh, it's,
moved. I
it's
had
the
it on the
9th?
calendar as the 9th, that's why I asked.
Yes,
It says it on
excuse
here.
me, it is the 9th.